Hello, everybody, and welcome to Church at Home with Rachel for Tuesday, the 27th of February. I'd like to share with you again something from John Spong's book, Jesus for the Non-Religious, and I think this is it. For those of you who are hanging out with me, if you're sick of him, this is the last day. But he says here, I'm going to read a little bit here. It says, the call of God through Jesus is a call to be fully human, to embrace insecurity without building protective fences, to accept the absence of peace of mind as a requirement of humanity. It is to see that God is the experience of life, love, and being, who is met at the edges of an expanded humanity. That is surely what the author of the fourth gospel meant when he quoted Jesus as proclaiming that his purpose was that they may have life and have it abundantly. The religion called Christianity is dying, the casualty of an expanded worldview. The God experience in Jesus, that experience upon which Christianity was built, is newly dawning and will in time create new forms through which that new vision can live. Once Jesus is freed from the prison of religion, a renaissance and a reformation are possible. Jesus for the non-religious comes into view. As my great mentor and friend John E. Hines once said to me, when you do an audacious thing, you do not then tremble at your own audacity. I anticipate and await Jesus' new explosion into the human consciousness. When you do an audacious thing, you do not then tremble at your own audacity. How much of Christianity have we allowed to fall into the realm of religion? I think way too much. I think that we have allowed the way we talk about our faith to become part of a religious conversation in which we really don't talk about what we truly believe. I mean, I understand it from the perspective of, we are encouraged, especially the Anglican Church of Canada, to have conversations in interfaith dialogue, to talk to Muslims and to Jewish people, to Buddhists and to non-faith traditions. We try not to, I hope, anyway. We try not to run away from these conversations in which we can have a conversation with an agnostic or an atheist. We actually try to expand this, to break down boundaries that we might share these things. And we've certainly been doing that ecumenically with other Christian denominations as well. The problem, I think, comes when we get so hung up on the religion part, the doctrine and dogma, the things that make us Christian versus being Christian, if that makes sense. If someone says to me, what does it mean to be Christian? What is your religion? Because quite often, if you fill out a census form, or are you a religious? Yeah, if yes, answer these questions. Are you Christian? Are you, falling into like Christianity as a religion? Well, of course, yeah, it is. We can say that without problem. Yeah, of course it is. However, when we speak of Christianity as being the only religion, then we have completely annihilated a truth for other people. As a Christian, I am able to recognize that other people believe in something differently than I do. And I'm okay with that. I believe that a Jewish person who doesn't believe in Jesus can be as faithful a Jew as I can be a Christian, a Christ follower. As a matter of fact, I hope they are. Or I hope that I am as faithful as they are. I can believe, I can acknowledge and accept and hope that a Muslim is as great a follower of Allah as I hope that I am of Christ, of God, and vice versa. I have no problem with that. My understanding of Christianity is not that I would convert other people to think the way I do. I think that my call on Christianity is to be so audacious as a Christian that I question my own audacity and then say, yes, I am audacious and I'm okay with that, because what I am doing is living fully into who I believe I am. I am living fully into that which I put my faith in. Now, I've talked before about conversion and evangelism and sharing the faith with other people. I guess it comes down to what end? I've had people over the years ask me about evangelism, and it's the bad word. If used to be, not anymore, I think, but it used to be that the F word was the bad word, the 4-letter F word. You wouldn't say that word. In my house, as a matter of fact, when I was growing up, I thought it was fart. We never said that word. But then I learned really quickly that that's not cool. Yeah, that's a bad word, but there's a worse one. But in the Anglican Church, sometimes the E word is the bad word. We don't talk about evangelism. Because we're like, when I say to people, we need to share our faith, we need to evangelize, people get weird. Like, I've had people not come back to church because they think I mean go stand on a street corner and talk about your faith until you convert someone else. And the part that I struggled with was, which part didn't they like? The idea of talking about your own faith, or the part of converting somebody else to your faith? And I think probably it's both. First of all, I don't want to convince someone else to follow my faith tradition. Why would I? I love my faith tradition. I love what I believe in. But I would never want anyone to try to browbeat me or convince me that I was wrong. And the minute I'm trying to convert someone else to what I believe, I think the implication there is that what they believe is wrong. I don't know about you, but if somebody comes up to me and tells me that the way I believe, and this has happened, that I can't be a priest as a female, let alone a bishop, they're trying to convince me how wrong I am in what I do and who I'm called to be and who I've been ordained to be, and look how well that works. I'm still here. It more ticks me off more than anything else. So converting someone to Christianity, yeah, I don't think that really works really well, like the whole religion part. The part I think a lot of people have, I don't even think they get to that question about conversion. I think they get stuck on talking about my own faith. I think people are really scared of talking about their own faith, especially in this day and age. I don't know about the States. I don't know about other denominations. That's my experience, what I've experienced in my congregations over the years. I know that that's not true of all Anglican congregations in Canada. I know there are some who are they are so alive with their love for Jesus that they tell other people about it, and they have developed language and they have ways of living it that people just know it. I have experienced in every one of my churches that the majority of the people sitting in the pews do not want to have the conversation about their faith, even with their priest or at coffee hour with one another, let alone going out into the world and sharing that good news, that faith, with someone else. Because I think we're too hung up on religion. I think we're too hung up on what the world thinks of it, the title that we've given it, that we've removed it from being a personal thing. I have no problem talking about my relationship with my husband. He's my best friend. I adore him. I love him. There's nothing I wouldn't do for him. Well, not nothing, but you know what I mean? Like he is everything. And I tell people that. You know that if you've watched me for a while. You know that I can speak freely about my husband and how much I love him. In public, I can do that too. When it comes to talking about my faith, sometimes it's harder. Because I think it is that we are so tuned into what the world thinks about our religion that we've forgotten that what we feel in our hearts is not religion. What I feel for my husband is pure, and it's intimate, and it's a part of who I am. It's part of my DNA. What I feel about my faith is too, but the world says I'm not free to talk about it. So I don't. I think that when John Spong talks about the Christianity that we know of right now, the church as we know it is dying, it's okay. It's okay that it dies because we're not talking about it. We're not treating it the way it's meant to be treated. And if we're not able to breathe life back into this dying body that is sometimes the Christian church, then maybe we need to let it go, because the church is founded upon Christ, and Christ gives us resurrection. Until this part that's not working real well anymore dies, we can't have resurrection. And when it comes, I think it will look different. I think that church will be different. Maybe it won't be Sundays. Maybe it will be. Maybe it'll be a both and. But what might church look like? What might church, the definition of church I'm using here, would be the people who are followers of Jesus coming together to worship together, to encourage one another, to be filled up in the Spirit, that they might then go out and do what Jesus did, to heal the sick, to comfort the people who are lonely, to reach out to those who are poor, to do all those things in the world. If we do that, if the church gets back to doing that, which we haven't been doing as church for a very long time for the most part, if we get back to doing that, then I think we will see an audacious movement of Christianity not dying. I think maybe the church itself might die in the old ways that we look at it. And the fact is, it's not the same today as it was 50 years ago. 50 years ago, it wasn't the same as it was 100 years ago. So we go through these mini deaths all the time. This is not a radical thing. But what I'm saying is that right now, I think we're in the middle of that. And we are going to have to be audacious and not question our own audacity. Because what we will find is really alive when we peel back the things, when we say goodbye to the things that are dying. We will find that Christ at the center is alive and well. And he's alive and well in us. And we are the church. And we are the ones who will gather together to support one another and feed each other and encourage each other, and then go out into the world to build more church. Not buildings, not churches, but to build more church. Relationships of people who encourage and fill one another up, and then go into the world to do the same for others. Yeah, the church is changing. And yeah, it's about time. And yeah, those of us who believe in the person, the God, the fully human, fully divine one who, around whom the church was built, once we get back to him, then we can become the church he fully intended. And we will thrive. And we will be audacious. And we will not question our audacity. Thanks for hanging out with me and John Spong. I'm done with John Spong for a while. Maybe until I need to read another book. But we're done. Have a great day. God bless you. And I will see you again tomorrow for Church at Home with Rachel.